Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again, giving you another review. Sorry that I'm sitting here. I'm sitting actually in front of a fan because it's fucking 82 degrees Fahrenheit. And yesterday it was like 54 degrees Fahrenheit. In this country it's huh, like 20, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Plus, then, plus 20, 30 degrees Fahrenheit minus. It's just constantly. The good thing is we're so kind of prone to we're stronger against disease. We're adaptable, but the problem is, it's sometimes it just goes too fast sometimes. And we're gonna move, and I want an AC that's that's not only giving you the AC but the central heating in one box. But back to the review, right? It's actually a slasher that I actually came on was it IMDb, the list of all. I was curious if I saw seen all the good ones, or sometimes I do try to take a chance with a between 4.0 and a 5.0. There is a horror movie, Honeymoon Terror. It's be- not the best acting, and the best special effects aren't that great. But I like the creepiness of the island, the small island, and they're isolated. And there's this guy with an axe deformed. It had a good atmosphere going on, and that's what I liked. And I was 3.8, so this one gets a 4.6, called The Majorettes, from 1987, directed by William Hinsman. I'm giving it a 4.5, so I'm sort of, you know, giving it the same score. That means watch on own risk. So who have the actors that didn't know jack shit of them? I don't know who they are. Now this is gonna be a spoiler review because it's an old movie, and but I'll tell you when I'm going into spoiler territory. It's a whodunit, by the way. But it's weird. It's a slasher movie and also an action movie. And what? An action and slasher? Huh? I'll tell you why in a second. So you've got these bunch of majorettes, and there's this killer that wants to kill them all. He has this camouflage, military camouflage outfit on, kind of remembrance of the Prowler, only that was a Second World War outfit. This is like more of a modern one, and he's got a military serrated combat knife. And the thing is, he stabs. You never see the stabs. Never. Don't see it going into the body like a clickback system or something. But he does always finish off with a throat slice. That you do see, but it can be just just some squirting out of the blood of the knife, and then you see this little stripe. But okay, now there is one majorette called Vicky who stands out because her grandmother is pretty rich, and there's this. She's 17, and when she turns 18, there is this savings bond of $550,000 that will be released. But the nurse called Helga and her demented pervert son called Harold uh, want her to die the moment she turns 18, then kill the grandmother because she can't speak, and take the money and sell all the artifacts they have at home. So you've got like three bad guys in this movie. Three bad guys. There's Helga and Harold. Harold is a pervert because he finds his way through a shaft, puts down the, the shaft thing that you can see through, and then he takes pictures of, this movie is boobs, 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 and a knife. That's what this movie is about. Yeah. You see a lot of boobs, a lot of boobs, constantly when they're showering, when they're changing. You see boobs from here to eternity. So people want to see boobs, 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 and a knife. Here you go. Then you got Jeff, the quarterback. He's sort of the male lead of the movie. Then you got Mace. This is a gang member of a bunch of thugs who deal in drugs and rape women and whatever. And there's Sheriff Braden. Yeah, Sheriff Braden. And then a detective whose name I just forgot, who's coming to work because of the murders, right? There are 3 people already dead, and all same, they were all put in water. Now they have this extremist priest who believes in total submission of baptizing. So in the lake, and in the water, and hail Satan. No, sorry. Hail God. Begone, Satan. The power of Christ compels you. And like this one he's a religious nut. Now, because all the victims are majorettes, for some reason, they're all like put in water. There's even a moment where a majorette is killed in the shower, and that's the only gory scene you're really gonna get, because you see the next slides, but you see him stabbing, all like this, no blood on the knife, in a swimming pool, don't see any blood, and then next slice, then you see a little bit of blood. That's the only thing you see. That shower room kill, okay, you see some slicing on the back, some the front. He stabs her, but you don't see it, but her body's full of blood, so that's the most convincing kill. And then again the neck. Now in this situation, the killer, his mask was torn off. Now who was in the vents? Who do you think was in the vents taking pictures? Our beloved pervert Harold. So he knows who the killer is at this point. And it's very early on that we know who the killer is. I thought it was going to be the preacher, to be honest, but now this gang, like I said, Maze, Harold is constantly spotted around these girls, these majorettes. He's watching with he's sitting on the bleachers on a football field, watching at them with binoculars. And this Maze guy comes and he says, "Hey, you pervert, what you doing?" And this and that. You owe me $180 for some drugs or something. And if you don't give the money till then, I'm gonna kill your ass. And this. That's a little scuffle, but that's it. You don't hear from him to the end. So what? The girl that gets killed in the shower is the girlfriend of Jeff, the quarterback, but they had a discussion because he can go to a top tier college where he may become a pro, and she doesn't want that because she wants him here for herself, a little bit egotistical, but like I said, there's no tension, there's no atmosphere, there's no nothing. You always see the killer coming from a mile away, and then whoa! Even like I said, the girl in the shower, he's just standing there. You see him behind the glass plated window of the shower and he opens the door and he attacks her. There's no tension, no jump scares, no jump scares even. They didn't do the effort to do that. And then so spoilers. Okay, so cons, pros. Let's start with pros then. Okay. Fuck. The last part that I wanna spoil. This movie becomes the last 20 minutes of this movie becomes an action movie, a Rambo movie basically. And I kind of liked it. I was bored, and then immediately shifted to this Rambo movie. And there's no the cons are the acting is bad, the special effects, the practical effects. There are no practical effects. Okay, killer in camouflage, but we've seen that before in the Prowler, right? Yeah, I don't know. You've got the detective who does recognize the fact that they're all put in water, and know that their priest believes in baptizing, under for full, baptizing. And the guy, he goes to interview him, and he seems like a complete nutcase, but you know, he says, "Your fight is with the devil. My fight is with with sin." That's something what he said. Yeah. So he acted like he was a killer, but no, it was, no, bad acting. Kills weren't. There were a lot of kills, but not. Now what happens is at some point, spoilers. So what happens is Helga, the nurse, calls because Vicky's living there too. Calls the sheriff because she has some information of the killer. The sheriff goes to the dark room where, and sees all the pictures of the majorettes and their luscious boobs. And he says, this doesn't prove a thing. This proves that Harold is a peeping Tom, a pervert, maybe even more so than he's the killer. Yes, but he also took these pictures, and then he sees the picture of his face, and when he saw that girl getting killed in the shower, and he immediately wants to strangle her, but then Harold, her bodyguard, basically her son, slams him with a wooden stick, knockout. They take his revolver and they cuff him to the radiator, and they say, "Listen, we have your pictures. We know who you are. We know what you're doing. You're targeting the majorettes." And then he says, "Because they're all sinful. They're all okay." So the majorettes are sinful, but then the cheerleaders isn't usually the cheerleaders, the bimbos. Okay, okay. In those movies, right? But she said, "Listen, we want you to kill Vicky when she turns 18," and that's almost within a week. And he says, "Why? Because we can get money from a frozen asset that they get." And he says, "Okay, I will do it." Now, personally, I would never trust a psychopath, because if he kills sinners, then he'll kill Helga and Harold too, because they're both sinners, right? They're both sinners, profiteering of this old lady that can't speak. How vile are you? I mean, so what happens is the detective goes to the sheriff's station. Sheriff's station. Jeff, the quarterback, and Vicky saw the body in the shower room. Jeff is completely devastated. It was his girlfriend. And the sheriff says, "No, I let him go. I got everything what I needed." And he's, "What? Are you crazy? I never met a so bad sheriff in my life. You just leave people. You just let them drive when they're in shock." Then eventually, what happens is, and here comes the entire shift of the movie. So the third bad. So you've got Helga and Harold, who are bad guys. You've got Sheriff Braden, who is the serial killer, you know, with the camouflage and the combat knife. And then you have Mace and his gang. They abduct Jeff and Vicky, and I don't think they wanted to kill him, but they wanted to slap him around, Jeff, and wanted to rape Vicky. Now Harold sees this, he goes after them. No, 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 you can't kill Vicky, you can't kill Vicky. And then he's, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then at some point, there's one of the gang members says, don't do this, enough. Shut up or I'll stab you the hell out of you. He's the big guy, he's the muscle. He just kicks the knife away and starts pummeling on Mace. But he gets shot, of course, by this guy with a Confederate hat on his face, with a Western revolver that goes like, like this, where you have. Then the guy with the shotgun gets kicked in the nuts. He takes by Jeff. He takes Vicky, but the guy, like a sort of Confederate guy, he shoots Vicky in the back, lethal. She's dead. No money for Helga. Sheriff Braden didn't have the chance, and he's really emotional because the rest now, of course, escaped because it's a complete dumpster fire now. They escaped, and Jeff he's super angry now. He goes home. He has this slice in his head because they hit him with something, bleeding nose, mouth, and he takes an M16 from his dad, who was probably in Vietnam. 3 like full metal jackets, clips, and then he goes towards the trailer where all these gang members are. He puts his shirt off, full under blood, his body. He's a muscular guy, he's a quarterback. And then he puts it in the place where you tank some gas in your car. It he puts it on fire. The van explodes. Everyone comes out, and he starts to whack everybody with the M16. Bam, 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 bam. Excellent shot too. Guys on motorcycles. Bam, bam, bam. He's just like going there through a Rambo style, changing the clip. Then he hit Mace in the leg. He goes after Mace when he killed everybody. He goes after Mace. He's like tracking even, in his bare skin, full under blood from his own blood. Then he finds Mace and says, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Yeah, me neither. And it was the most exciting part of the movie. That was the pro of the movie, actually. It was just something different. I didn't like the slasher part. It was too tedious, boring, and generic, and you had no atmosphere, no tension. No. So at the very, very end, Sheriff Braden's like, he's sad to see Jeff in the hospital, because he says he did it as a favor because he killed all those sinful bastards. That's what he said. Now, the detective goes away. Now, there is this group of 10-year-old majorettes practicing with a trainer, and the sheriff is, creepy looking, standing there and looking at them. and he's like, you're next. You're next, bitches. Few years. Wait a few years. You're next. And the movie ends. That's the ending of the movie. It's such a no, no, really, it's not a good movie. The acting's not good. The gore effects are not good. The kills are repet- repetitive. Always the same deal. Oh, I 4.5, I'll follow. I'm not a 4.78 guy, so always round it off. So 4.5, seeing as 4.6, it's a if this movie is not for horror fans, this movie is for the slasher fans who really want to see them all and have this. And movies between 4 and 5 can be good. There are good ones. There are good, really good ones. Even 3.8, like I said, Honeymoon Terror, and then I believe Blood Island or something. They're good ones, but this one was just Jesus. In any case, uh, that would be the last one that I'll probably review. I may find another one, who knows, from the 80s, the golden 80s, from the slasher movies. Um, and I'm gonna shift myself also a little bit away from the 90s and going to the plus 2000s. Um, the more, recent movies. But those I won't spoil because they're recent. People still need to watch them, so I will not spoil them. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this review, and subscribe if you didn't. That would really be a badge of honor for me, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully, a little bit, a few degrees chillier, right? Let's see you next time. Bye.